Hey, what's up? Got a chart here that's a little bit more of just for technical analysis fun. Not much to trade off of, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So I thought I would share just kind of playing around with charts and found a little pattern that I thought was kind of interesting. Uh, what it was is it's a cycle down here on the bottom of the chart. This is just a daily chart for Bitcoin. Going back to 2015 or so. Down on the bottom of the chart here, uh, I have a cycle, and the cycle is 108 days. I don't know if that means anything, but when you start back here, and you have the break of the trend here to where we started this long bull run, um, and you take this as long as we were in this bull run here, all the way up to this point. Right at this point here, um, right at the point of break, to give you a signal that the bullish trend has changed. It's right on the same cycle. So, there's a bunch of 108 days long here, but then the trend didn't change until this point. And then, the ADX was kicking up higher here for the negative directional index, so the bears were taking control pretty strongly right at this point, right at the trend line break, right at this level. So it's just interesting. So every break of a trend line with confirmation is right at this cycle, which is really weird to me. I just thought I would share it. But you're looking at the break at this point, and you're right there, and then we went into a bearish market. Now there's a couple of points here. You had a trend line that was coming down at this point right here, and then you also got the longer term trend line that's going all the way here. But right at this point, and the reason I'm looking at this level right here, which matches right on the same cycle all the way since 2015, matches up perfectly on the low that we had for the year in December of 18. And there was a trend line here that broke to the upside, and at this point right here, the ADX was dropping, and as you can see, the directional index lines just crossed each other and didn't really have anywhere to go. So it was a little bit more of a sideways market, and that's what we had. But as far as we know, um, you know, hindsight is that was the low, and there was a little bit of a consolidation in here. But the interesting point is if you bring the trend line out here to this point, and also the horizontal right here where this meets, it's right at the 108 also. And then this is when the bulls started to kick up on the ADX. So the momentum broke right at this point to give us a bullish market. So now we're on this bullish move to the upside. Now the interesting thing here is the trend line broke right here. But even though it went up here, it retested the line on a pullback to that level on the trend line, but it didn't make a new high. So right here, there's also a break of the trend line right at that 108 day mark. And now with the ADX really low, and they're back, the directional index lines are all kind of tied up again. We're back sideways. So um, right now, I have these two dotted lines to kind of show the zone we've been in. Kind of 9100 on the low here and 12.3 or so on the high. Do we stay in this range until that 108 days to let us know when to break out of this? Do we continue to slant a little lower because we haven't made a higher high yet? So do we continue lower into this point and then maybe we can draw a trend line somewhat like right now, if that was the high, the trend line would be like that. Or we could actually draw one that's a little bit more like that. I don't know, but right now we are still a little bit slanted to the downside. So does this continue sideways to a little lower as we move into the apex of this kind of like triangle-ish pattern up until November 4th, which is the 108 mark, and then we break this trend line to the upside, sort of like we did here. This is a little bit more flat to up, and we broke it at this level. Do we break it again and start launching to the upside? So not much you can trade off of it. I just thought this was an interesting look at where trend lines could, if this one's drawn out from where it's at right now, um, the price would come all the way. It could go a little lower under 9100, but right now I don't see that happening because there's not a lot of momentum either way. So you can work a little bit more sideways. And does this kind of work its way to this point and break out on the 108th day? I have no freaking clue, but I thought this pattern was pretty interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. Not much to trade off of, just a little TA and trend line fun. All right. Any questions, comments? I'm out at FiboSwanny out on Twitter, and I will talk to you guys later. And happy trading, and peace out.